Okay, in this clip I'm going to be looking at the second factor, my trust, confidence in my own ideas and opinions. And we're going to be looking at the student report that you as a tutor are holding and working through with them. So you again have identified that this is a factor that you want to focus on. Perhaps you're doing this in week 4, for example, here. And so you're going to note that in week 4 we're going to be focusing on trust of own opinions and ideas. That's our little log of what we've worked on here. So if we go back down to that particular page in the report, and we can see the students' feedback here. So we've got a baseline score for the student here. So instinctively the student has quite a high trust of their particular trust of their own ideas and opinions. Now, what we know about trust of our own ideas and opinions is that that can give us a sense of confidence. It can give us the confidence to assert ourselves, to express our own opinions, but it may make us less, as students, less open to other people's feedback, less open to other people's ideas and their advice. Now, what we have found out with our research into optimal trust of our own ideas and opinions as students was through some research that we did with Year 10 and Year 12 students in 2012, and we discovered that there are different optimal positions for English and the arts and for maths and the sciences. Let me just for a moment explain that. In maths and sciences, we found that the optimal mindset for trust of our own ideas and opinions as a student is quite low. Now, that correlates with the work that you may well be aware of Carol Dweck on mindset, on developing a growth mindset, where important features of having a growth mindset are being willing to question one's own opinions, be open to new ideas, to be self-critical, and not to be closed and to be fixed. And we found that students who had that mindset of being able to question their own ideas and opinions correlated with higher performance in academic measures in Year 10 and Year 12 students in our research. But we also found that students in the English and the arts, those who had a greater trust in their own ideas and opinions as a mindset, correlated with higher success. And so we found that in subjects that were more subjective, where students were required, if you like, to assert and argue for their own opinion, such as English and the arts, students who were more able to have the confidence to do that correlated with higher academic performance. So we found that in maths and science, students who were more willing to self-question, that was more successful, but students who were more willing to assert themselves in the more subjective English and arts subjects were more successful. So we see in this particular student, Barney, that in maths he actually moves from his baseline to adopt a more open, more self-critical position, and in English he moves to adopt a less self-critical, more asserting position. And these are actually pretty good fits with the optimal posture here. So we want to affirm this student and say, actually, in terms of your mindset, you are showing really good adaptation, that in maths you are adopting a more open posture, in English you are adopting a slightly more fixed, asserting posture, trusting your own position. And that is excellent adaptation across the curriculum. That is a real tick, a real affirmation. However, we see that in one subject here, chemistry, Barney is adopting high trust in his opinions, when actually the optimal is here a low trust. So Barney needs to listen to this girl here and to learn the strategies that she is using, because we want to pull Barney's score down towards this optimal here. So we need to read these with Barney. So here are the resources that are going to be important for us in this purple speech bubble. I might start off by pointing out to Barney that actually if in chemistry Barney continues to stay in this posture here, there are some risks attached. He may close down opportunities to learn new skills, he may disengage, he may not learn from other people's perspectives. Barney, he may coast, and he may limit himself. So there are risks for Barney in chemistry if he stays there, and there are reasons for him to change. Now, Barney is going to need to take the risk of accepting perhaps that he can learn more than he does already. He may feel that he isn't very good at chemistry, or he may feel that he's excellent at chemistry. Both of those mindsets can make him feel that he's got nothing more that he can learn. Okay, and Barney's going to need to shift that. He is going to need to learn to listen to his teacher's advice and trust that the teacher may have something to help him. Can he learn and watch from others and listen to them for the suggestions? And if he's questioned about his work, can he not become defensive? So which of these is he currently doing? Which of these can he do more of? And Barney is going to tick or choose a forward arrow to identify which of these he wants to engage with. Now, if Barney's scores were different, it may be that he would choose from these strategies here if he needs to learn to choose to trust his own ideas and opinions more. But let's imagine that Barney is going to choose to identify that he will watch and learn from others when they offer him suggestions. So he's going to highlight that, and we're going to highlight it now, and then he's going to transfer that to his student booklet. Here we go, week 3. He's going to put that in as his target here. He's going to write that in. He's going to identify which lessons he's going to do that in, and this is going to become his weekly target, which he's going to discuss with his teacher, get the signature, and at the end of the week the teacher is going to be able to say, here's the progress that the students made. We're going to review this with Barney at the beginning of our next coaching session and see what progress he has made. Again, over the course of the 10-week Raising Attainment intervention, we may need to stick with this factor to enable Barney to make as much progress as we can. If we judge that this is going to really make a difference to his progress, we're going to use the scale at the bottom here for him to identify what progress he's made and to show how much it has helped him in his own self-evaluation.